So let's bring this up. I had spoken before about the first Mercury. When Mercury went through Cancer, it triggered the Grand Cardinal Square because we have the T-square in effect. We have 3 out of 4 corners of the cardinal signs in early degrees, and they're stressing each other out by either having 90-degree angles, which are part of the square, or 180 degrees, which would be the opposition. And so that's a T-square right there. And so that's the Saturn in Libra, Pluto in Capricorn, and Uranus in Aries. And these are all cardinals, so they all want to initiate something. So the sun sign is in Cancer now, and so a lot of the quicker moving planets don't leave the sun. They don't go too far away from the sun. Mercury and Venus are never more than like a hand, they're usually like a sign away at the most from the sun. So the first thing to go through the early degrees of Cancer was Mercury, and sort of like doing reconnaissance, and it triggered the Grand Cardinal Square by being there, by being in Cancer. It filled in the 4th corner of the Grand Square. So we have oppositions between Cancer, Capricorn. We already have the opposition between the Libra and the Aries, and it just triggered it. And Mercury brings the information to the forefront of our consciousnthis, and then it also called back on a cell phone to the sun and moon, saying, watch out, because this is a nasty neighborhood, you're going to get mugged. Then on the new moon, partial solar eclipse on the 1st, the sun and the moon show up in Cancer, kicking off that Grand Cardinal Square again. So we already have those stress aspects between Saturn, which is the law, and Libra, which wants things to be fair, and we have the Uranus in Aries, which says, I want to rebel and I want to fight, and I have these ideas in my head and I don't care. I have a plan. We ain't got no plan. And then Pluto says, you want to transform? You want to transform the government? You want to transform business? Let's just tear it all down and blow it up, because Pluto deals with atomic energy. So, you know what was really interesting, though? When Uranus went into Aries for good, because it was there and it went back, and because there's always like forward, retrograde, and direct again. When it came into Aries again on March 11th, 2011, that was the earthquake and tsunami, the largest earthquake ever recorded, and the tsunami in Japan. And since it's square Pluto in Capricorn, okay, Capricorn's corporations, Pluto is like atomic, okay? What happened? Fukushima, okay? Where is that happening in our own life? So, sun and moon came through during the new moon, triggering, in Cancer, triggering that Grand Cardinal Square again, and we came up with these, like, the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the yin, the yang, the male, the female. These type of issues are being stressed by the T-square of the slower moving planets and they trigger. It's just like quicker moving planets can trigger these long-term, slower transits. Okay, sun and moon go. Whew, we have like a breather. Okay, then now Venus comes wandering through. What's a nice girl like Venus in Cancer doing in a bad neighborhood like this with these other cardinal, these heavy hitters? Saturn, the saying, oh, what is the law and what is structure, and Pluto saying, I'm going to transform, and then in Capricorn, which is like, what's the tradition? How are we going to transform tradition? And Venus in Cancer says, well, I like the past. The past is nice, tradition is nice, family's nice, and then Pluto and Capricorn say, "Oh, I'm going to transform all that," and then Uranus in Aries is going, "Oh, we can just get crazy. We can put the fun in dysfunctional if we want to talk about families." And so here's, you know, here's sensitive Venus in Cancer. Venus deals with, your relationships and how you love and pretty things and art, what what you value. In Cancer, which is home and hearth and mom and tradition and sentimentality, getting its butt kicked. So the first thing, because it's at 4 degrees, so what does it hit first? It will run into Uranus first, because Uranus is at 4 degrees. So that right now Venus is at 4 degrees. Now I was born with Venus squared Uranus, and it's, people say, "Oh, that's a divorce placement." No, it's like, I don't really take a lot of crap placement, and when people come into my life really quickly, very intense, and when our karma is done, they leave, and I just can't hold on to them. I mean, I can't worry about it, because they're just like another bunch of people are going to come through again. Also, when I'm finished with the relationship, it's done. I just lightning, because Uranus is like lightning. So what I carry with me all the time in my chart is what's sort of in the air right now. If something weird happens in your relationship, like you have an expectation that how things were in the past or how things are going to be right now, forget about it. Sudden and unexpected things can happen. Arguments can break out. The Venus in Cancer can get their feelings hurt, and they go, "Oh, squish, I'm crying, pouty baby." And then Uranus in Aries saying, deal with it. I want to have my independence. I can go on about my business by myself. And then Venus is going, "My expectations have been unmet. I think I might be disappointed." When Cancer, the sign of Cancer, gets disappointed, it could manifest itself as illness. Because they say, "Oh, anybody with Cancer prominent is a hypochondriac." People get really sick. If you get unhappy, you get sick. And so people who don't want to make the change, who resist flowing with the change of events, they stress their body, and in the letting off cortisol into their system and stuff, they stress their body, and they can become susceptible to illnesses. It's not like they make up the illness. It's that the stress causes their body to break down, and so they become less immune to things. So if there's any kind of sudden changes in your relationship, just go with it, because we got some other things coming down the pike for Venus to have to deal with. The next thing Venus has to deal with is running into an opposition with Pluto. And Pluto in Capricorn says, yeah, well, Capricorn may deal with the past, and it may deal with authority figures, and Pluto wants to transform. So let's transform your relationships. Let's just change some of your relationships, and it could be, Capricorn sometimes deals with corporations and governments, but it also can represent an authority figure in your life. So if you are having if you're having difficulty with an authority figure, let's say a boss at work or something, then it's the Venus in Cancer has to take the initiative to make some sort of adjustment, or to find some sort of don't be so, take it serious, but don't take it personal. Find some sort of middle ground between the Cancer and the Capricorn, because after that, first you had this sudden sudden blow up with Uranus in Aries. Then you have this opposition with Pluto and Capricorn. That's only 1 degree apart, and all of it's like really close to like be both, tag teaming you. And then a little bit down the road at 10 degrees Libra is Saturn. And Saturn says, how are we going to structure it now? We had the blow up. We had the confrontation where we had to transform. And now Saturn says, how do we structure it? Because Saturn rules the bones, like without bones, it's kind of hard for us to like get around. Would be like a giant squid on the wharf, without bones. So what's the structure? And then Libra says, yeah, it's nice that you're sensitive, but sensitive is sort of like kind of selfish because you're just thinking of your own feelings. And Saturn's in Libra and says, how is it going to be fair? It's not just about you and your like little whiny squish feelings, but how is it going to be fair within the relationship? Let's make a new structure. So there's going to be blow up, transformation, structural change, and this is going to be happening. This is going on right now. It's going on as far as general transits are concerned. So you ask yourself, you look at your chart and you go, what do I have in cardinal signs? Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn in the early degrees between like 5 and 10 degrees. What planets do I have there? That's the action that's going to take place. What signs are they in? Because that's the style it will take place. That's the style it will take on, these actions. And what house does it fall in your chart? Because that's the area of your life that those things will take place. Because I tell you, if you're not ready to be flexible, if you're not ready to make changes, if you're not ready to like step back and take things serious but not personal, you're going to be squish and get all weepy and then get sick. Oh, I can't handle it. I'm going to take to my bed. No, that's not the most prudent way of going about it. So this is Venus in Cancer triggering the Grand Cardinal Square, and what can we expect? Because we will see it out in the world, out on the world stage. We will experience it in our own life. And if you don't know, if you have planets in cardinal signs, what they are, or what their houses are, get in touch with me at there's links on the profile thing on the YouTube, and I can help you sort it out. Okay, so there it is, and let's see how this turned out.